Shalom, la Bachayim Shal Yash'ala, which is peace to the election of the nation of Israel. Call Layim Wahwa ala Hayna wa Yahal Bashim Yashai Bishim Hakudash. Giving all praises to our power, Yahal Bashim Yashai Bishim Hakudash, the power of Israel. Of course, giving double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who well. Peace and salutation to the 144,000 Hanabiyayim prophets. One third elect not members whom the Lord is going to have mercy upon, whom are not prophets but are believers in the words Yahweh Shem Shai. Shemiyah Mafpa, my name is Mafpa from the Great Millstone playing tables game located here in the city of Philadelphia, coming with a wee lesson, little. As you can see on the screen, you have a flirtation, embarrassing flirtation with, as it speaks of martial law. And this particular politician, he blasted as it's going nowhere. He said, well, it's not going to happen, and has declared, and it's really sad and a respect and embarrassing. Senator Mitt Romney, which is a Republican of Utah, slammed President Trump on Sunday over his flirtation with the idea of imposing martial law in return to return to the 2020 presidential election, insisting that it's going nowhere, while calling Trump's actions really sad and embarrassing. You have several media outlets, including Daily Beast, which this article is published by. The main article is found on CNN. Reported over the weekend that Trump held an Oval Office meeting with his former cabinet or campaign lawyer, Sidney Powell, and her client Michael Flynn, Trump's ex-national security advisor, who the president recently pardoned. Both Powell and Flynn have been front and center and peddling unhinged, baseless conspiracies that Trump lost the election due to a nefarious international plot, including dictator Hugo Chavez and corrupting voting software. During the bonkers meeting, which apparently left several advisors spooked, the president reportedly considered Flynn's recent proposal and that Trump should invoke martial law in order to allow the military to redo the election in several states. Trump also suggested making Powell, whose Kraken election results or election lawsuits, which, pardon me, in Hebrew, have been laughed out of court, a special counsel investigating voter fraud. And it says, interviewing Romney on Sunday, the State of the Union, CNN actor Jake Tapper brought up the latest reports, which also include Trump pushing an executive order to seize voting machines, and before asking Romney to weigh in. And this is, needless to say, quite alarming and scary to a lot of people. What will the Senate do to make sure it doesn't happen? Tapper wondered aloud. Well, it's not going to happen. It's going nowhere. Romney responded, it's really sad, in a lot of respects embarrassing, because the president could right now be writing the last chapter of the administration with the victory lap with regards to the Sharat. Okay, you can see the word, which as it's going to explain, the former Republican president nominee, who has been a vocal critic of the president for years, went to praise Trump over Operation Warp Speed before criticizing him once again for his refusal to accept his election loss. And Trump hasn't conceded the election still this time. In these times, in these days, and you have it, we're fastly approaching the possible or inauguration of Joe Biden. As Yahweh Ratchazah, the Most High wills that to occur. Much can go and occur in a short amount of time. He could be champion his own story, but instead he's leaving Washington with these CTs, which is conspiracy theories, and things so nutty and loopy that people are shaking their heats, wondering what in the world has gotten into the man. It says, I think this is unfortunate because he has more accomplishments than his last chapter suggests he's going to be known for. The president, meanwhile, has leaned back on his favorite retort over multiple reports on the meeting discussing calling it fake news and more knowingly bad reporting. In a tweet you see put up. All right, so that's it. As you can see, this is the news. This news heavy because us as prophets of Yahweh Shem Yashai and being sent by the Lord, and we have been warned of course, martial law, and we've experienced it, medical martial law and such, but a full-blown martial law is on its way, and depending, of course, on how the country reacts to many of the events that have the possibility of occurring very soon. We as prophets of Yahweh Shem Yashai, we speak prophecy, so this is only in lines of what is in the Bible. It's just a matter of when it's going to actually happen. We know we're in the season and very close. This is the second Esdras chapter 6:1. It says, and he said unto me, in the beginning, when the earth was made, before the borders of the wood stood, or ever the winds blew, before it thundered and lightened, or ever foundations of paradise were laid, before the fair flowers were seen, or ever the movable powers were established, before the innumerable multitude of angels were gathered together. Okay, you got your first fruits and such. Or ever the Alahayim, that is, the good gods, right? And with Yahweh Shai created everything. Or ever the heights of the air were lifted up, before the measures of the firmament were named, or the chimneys of Sion were hot. The of the present years were sought out, and or ever the inventions of them that no sin were turned, before they were sealed that have gathered faith for treasure, right? Before the elect, again, because only the elect have faith, okay, for it, and gathered it for treasure. Then did I consider these things, and they were all made through me alone, and through none other. By me also they shall be ended. And that's of course through Yahweh Shai, who scriptures tell you all power in heaven and earth. What's that power? See if I can find a couple scriptures. I know I got another one the eye and the thigh, but there's another scripture that I'm thinking about as well. I had to skip that scripture. Let me see. I'm just going to go to Revelation real quick. Revelation chapter... see where this was. This is Book of Revelation, chapter 1 and 8. And it reads, I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the ending, said the Lord, which is, and which was, and which is to come, the Almighty. Another scripture. It might be like Philippians or something. I might be might find one in Philippians. It's to the Spirit. I'm just trying to find it. Might be one in Hebrews as well. But if I may get to it, Slakia. Just going through the Spirit right now. It's like the scripture that talk about all power has been committed to the Son. Slakia. But might just move on to that from that. Just get to the point. Yeah, I'm gonna so get to the point, Slakia. Brothers, of course, know different precepts. I mean, I think of like possibly First John, definitely Colossians, if I'm not mistaken. But let's go move on. Next scripture, which I have, is the book of Sirach, I believe the 40th chapter. And it says here, great travail is created for every man, and heavy yoke is upon the sons of Adam, from the day that they go out from their mother's womb, till the day that they return to the mother of all things. Okay. And part of that travail is going to be this martial law. It says their imaginations of things to come, in the day of death trouble their thoughts and cause fear of heart. Right. But we have no fear, because it tells us in the scriptures to fear not, thou worm Jacob. And the Lord has a protection, a hedge for his elect, from him that sitteth on the throne of glory unto him that is humble in ashes, earth and ashes, lock. From him that weareth purple in a crown, unto him that is clothed with a linen frock. Wrath and envy, trouble and unquietness, fear of death, and anger and strife. And in the time of rest upon his bed, his night sleep do change his knowledge. A little or nothing is his rest, and afterward he is in his sleep, as in a day of keeping watch. Trouble in the vision of his heart, as if he were escaped a battle. When all is safe, he waketh and marveleth that the fear was nothing. It says, such things happen unto all flesh, both man and beast, and that is sevenfold more upon sinners. And you're about to see your worst nightmare. Okay, many that's out there. And of course, as the scriptures tell you that the Lord knoweth how to reserve the wicked for the day. See if I can find it. Of destruction, roughly paraphrasing. Let me see. Reserve the wicked. Or day of judgment, I believe it is. Might be in like Romans or something like that. You see, so it's a book of 2 Peter 2. And 9. It says here, right, 2 and 9, 2 Peter's. The Lord knoweth how to deliver the godly out of temptations, right, the enticements to sin, and to reserve the unjust unto the day of judgment to be punished. Right. But chiefly them that walk after the flesh in the lusts of uncleanliness, and despise government. Presumptions, they are self-willed. They are not afraid to speak of evil dignities. Con. Going to the scripture, this is back to Ecclesiastes chapter 40 and 9. It says, death, bloodshed, strife, and sword, calamities, famine, tribulation, and scourge. These things are created for the wicked, and for their sakes came the flood. And we know there's a second death that's coming. All right, because the Lord, he already had the flood. And he had made a promise by, of course, putting a bow in the firmament. There's a promise that he wouldn't flood the earth again. But you're going to have the second death, which is going to come by nuclear fire and fire from the chariots of the Most High. Let's get into the scriptures actually talk about and tell us about the martial law. So we'll show you that here in the scriptures for those believers that out there seeking the knowledge. It speaks about this, or even just reinforcing your brain that these prophecies are going to happen. This is the book of 2nd Esdras, the 15th chapter. It says, behold, speak thou into the ears of my people the words of prophecy, that which I will put in thy mouth, said the Lord. I will cause them to be written on paper, for they are faithful and true. We have the Bible here. Fear not the imaginations against thee, all these wicked plots, all right, many different plots of cuttings to be given into you in the flesh, and torture, and you being completely restricted. You're not supposed to fear these things. Let not, the Lord didn't give us the spirit of fear anyway. It says, let not the incredulity of them that trouble thee, that speak against thee, for all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. Correct. Behold, said the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, sword, famine, death, and destruction. For the wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. And which is Esau, Edom, is the wicked, is bringing, of course, it's NWO, New World Order, as you can see, establishing at this time, due to him knowing that he has but a short time. You can tell by the prophecies, you can tell by the left hand side that he inquires and seeks to receive spiritual knowledge that he is at his end. Okay. Going down, this is the book of 2 Edges 15 and 12. Egypt, which is America, shall mourn. Martial law brings a lot of mourning, a lot of sorrow and grief, anguish. And the foundation of it shall be smitten with a plague and punishment that the Most High, Yahweh Shem Yahshua, shall bring upon it. It says, they that till the ground shall mourn, for their seed shall fail through the blasting of hail, and with the fearful constellation. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draw nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. And with the current political turmoil due to this election results, you have many that are so bitter, which already are prepared to do this, all right, and to do just this, all right. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor their princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. Right, which this uprisings, insurrections, and such, this would require, of course, the military to come in to bring in order. It says, a man shall desire to go in the city, and not to be able to, right? Because there will be a declaration of martial law. And you already have it where, due to the current crisis of this pestilence, there's various restrictions that prevent you from entering into a city, without certain credentials, or if you do, you have to quarantine, etc. Okay, but it's going to be a time in which there will be military checkpoints, abroad, dispersed, and you'll see these prophecies really come to pass. Okay, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with sword, and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread, and great tribulation, and for great tribulation, right? And you have famine, you have great eviction on the horizon, and more eviction moratorium expiring, and like a week's time, something. We are, of course, in a time of these prophecies, so stay, of course, circumspect. because we're in a time of overthrowing and great peril. That's the lesson. Just wanted to bring that out very short. A flirtation, which when you flirt, I was looking at this word in sport. Flirt. Which is from flirt, to turn up one's nose, to snare at, to throw with a sudden movement, also move in short, quick flights or fights. We know that E has but a short time, so this being accomplished, and this actual talk of flirting is biblical. All right, so the joke or jest with the stroke of wit, wisdom, contemptuous remark. Okay, so man, that's pretty much it. Through the Spirit, Shalom to the elect, Abba Babal. May Yahweh Shemel Shah, of course, deliver us sin. Abba Babal means the door to destroy Babylon, which is America. Shalom to the elect.